World Whisky Review, brought to you by me, Man in the Sands. Come and join me. Hats off, game on. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me. Straight into it, entry point, Islay. Famous distillery, Laphroaig. Now, I love a good Laphroaig. I do. In fact, one of my most wonderful memories is in Macedonia in Skopje, enjoying a delightful Douglas Lang Laphroaig that was certainly an expensive drop and magnificent. Well, here we are with the entry point of Laphroaig Distillery itself, the Select. Now, I have a question. Why? Is it needed? The reason I ask is that there are other entry points for this distillery. How much of an entry point whiskey is a good thing for such a pedigree of a distillery? Unfortunately, I would like to think one should only offer a couple of entry points. So therefore, to push the boundaries, what have Laphroaig done to offer a third? In fact, they've done a lot. They tell us they have selected various casks, sherry butts, Oloroso, Ximenez, and so on. They tell us on their bottle it is an exquisite expression. They tell us it has depth and complexity. Well, that, I think, is amazing for the price. So let's put it to the test. First point to note that concerns me, it is 40%. So we're just keeping to the minimum ABV for a single malt or Scottish whisky, according to the rules. Can that be a good thing or a bad thing? I'm going to suggest it's a bad thing. It's an entry point whiskey. I like to see an entry point whiskey punching a bit higher because we know it will not have the depth and complexity or maturity of other more expensive whiskies. At least it shouldn't. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's find out. Straight into it. Do remember, we are using only neat and naked as nature intended. Why? Because it's an entry point whiskey and it should simply be open, pour, enjoy. So let's see what we've got here with this Laphroaig. Again, do remember, I like this distillery. I just have a sneaky suspicion this is a step too far. Oh, love the sound. Now, you may be asking yourself, why do I think it's a step too far? And in simple terms, I only think you have the capability to make entry point whiskey so many times. So to talk about various casks, multiple complexity, and to be exquisite at this entry level sounds a little bit of Pinocchio to me. Or it's simply an adventure that could be wasted. Equally, I do respect the distillery. I'm hoping for the best. But do remember, this is award-winning. Gold, silver, bronze, 2019, various awards. So it must be good. Certainly, if it has awards, it must be good. Well, maybe by now you're coming to realize, excuse me, that I don't necessarily believe that because a whiskey has won an award, it is deservingly that good. So, without further ado, hats off, game on. Nosing. Peaty whiskey, don't go in straight away, just gentle. Now, it doesn't have a high alcoholic content, but because it is peaty, it is a Laphroaig from the southeast of the island. We're expecting quite a medicinal peatiness. And it is there. Again, I'm nosing very much the medicinal Laphroaig is known for medicinal whiskey, and yet it has the ability to produce some of the most beautifully complex, smoky, peaty whiskies. Slanger. Oh, that's awful. Oh, it's hanging on. It's just awful. Oh, I didn't want it to be, and it is. There's the burn. So I've got a burn. Not a fan of a burn, neither should you be. The tongue is sizzling, and that's off the, what I would call the rawness of the spirit. So I've got the tongue saying, I'm not happy at the tip. I've got the burn saying, I'm not happy. What happened to the middle? Well, it's gone, it's evaporated. It's almost like a high proof rum. For some reason, it's in and it's gone. Boom, boom, bye-bye. So what am I thinking? Well, normally I go in for a second. I just don't want to. I want to take this and I want to pour it away, clean the drains with it. It's a disappointment. It's an award-winning disappointment. And how awful is it? Goddamn awful. That's how awful it is. Why would you introduce anybody, and especially a novice, who drew into whiskey to the Islay as this? Do not. We already established the Ardbeg 10, delightful, great drop to consider. The Lagavulin 8, unnecessary, discombobulated, less than ideal. The Laphroaig Select, pour it down the drain. It's not even high enough proof to pour over your Christmas pudding and light it. So what use does it have? It's a mistake. I'm sorry to see it on the shelves. I do not recommend it unless you simply have nothing left on your palate to taste and it just tickles the tonsils because you've abused your palate so badly over the years, smoking so much, or perhaps just shoveling tar into your mouth. I'm going to move on now. It is not worth your life listening anymore to this. We're going to quickly move on to a new review, and I'm going to do it now because I've got to get something in my mouth that washes this goddamn awful taste out. And on that note, I shall be releasing the next review a lot earlier than I had assumed. It will come out right after this in the same weekend. See you shortly.